Okay, so today I'll be talking about like different tempos and how that's important in the overall like landscape of a round. So like this is applicable, right? The tempos. So like whenever you're trying to split on attack, you're trying to split like B, let's say, or whenever you're lurking around, you're a different tempo compared to the rest of your team. And when you're retaking from different angles, you're also taking into account like the different tempos. And I think this is one of the bigger mistakes that I see like high level players like Radiant and even some pro players, they still make this mistake, is they don't understand like their role in these kind of like executes, whether it be retake or splitting or lurking, and when to like go to like capitalize off timing and not give up map control, etc. Alright, so there's three different types of tempos, right? There's first, second, and third tempo. First tempo, there's usually like the main group of people. Like if you're with two other people or three other people right next to you, you're like 100% the first tempo group, like 100% all the time. Second tempo, this is usually like the lower number group, right? Like you're with one other guy with you. This is like second tempo, and you're gonna be baiting the main group. You're gonna be activating second, not first. You're gonna be like trying to like bait for these guys, but like not like take the fight and die before these guys. So these guys will be going first, you'll be going second pretty much. And third, this is usually when you're alone. Like most of the time when you're alone and you're gonna be baiting these guys and these guys. And you're gonna be going super late. You're gonna be pretty much going as the win condition. You're going at the end of the round to clutch the round. That's what you're gonna be doing. A large majority of the time. And you never ever want to be going first as the third tempo. Alright, so just gonna give an example of bad tempo first when trying to split B on a set. So let's say your IGL calls that I want to split B off the start of the round. Okay, you do the smoke, you do the start, get these three guys up, right? Just standard stuff. And let's say they're like around here. And it's like, okay, let's split B, this is free, right? There's nothing market. And these guys are like, okay, let's go and let's split B. And these guys, they're obviously here that it's going to be a B split, right? With people sprinting up here and here. And they need to make a decision whether to just fall and play retake completely, go to the backside B, or they take one side of the map. And let's say they do decide to take one side of the map and take B main here. And these guys take these engagements way too early, right? And then they take the risk of fighting these 2v2 and losing it. Let's say it's like this. And then what? Let's get rid of the util here. These guys then come out market. These guys are rotating this whole time because these guys are calling it B. And then what? Defenders have B main control. Defenders have CT control. Defenders have site control. And these guys are coming out into like a fucking massacre, a fucking crossfire. And then there's literally no way these guys, a market, can win the round anymore. So that's like the importance of how like one like micro mistake from one or two people like deciding to peak too early when they're in the wrong stack to peak early. These guys are pretending to be first tempo, but they in reality they should always be second tempo in this example, costing the attackers the round. And same example, right? But let's just say they knew that they were second tempo. These two knew they were second tempo, and they should be activating second, right? So that I'm just not gonna do the U2 anymore, but it's just like you do the dart, do the smoke, get up, whatever. And same stuff happens. They get up market, but these guys are wary, right, that B main is dirty. Like they don't know what's going on in B main, so they don't want to take that risk as a lower number group, right? Let's say these guys come and they're like, okay, let's take this one side because we need to fight something, or else we're gonna get split on. They come up, and then these guys will be like jiggling, trying to get that info because B main is dirty, and they see these two, and it's like, oh, okay, fuck, they're coming. And then, these market guys will be aware, right? And they'll be like, okay, we need to kill these two guys. And then when they're like around here, when they're like ready to fight, the main group is taking the first engagements. That's when these guys come up and peak. Let's see how, just see how much better this is, right? These guys are now like in a position where they're like kind of fucked compared to before when it was like just a 2v2. Now it's like a 5v2 and they're getting crunched on. And these two like die like nearly 100% of the time here. And then what? Attackers have B main control. attackers have site control because they just killed the two and they know there's probably like 99.99% chances no one else on site if these two guys are fighting B main. And then it's nearly 100% win rate for the attackers. They have site control 5v3. The CTs only have CT control. That's a good example of a good tempo from the second tempo group. And letting the first tempo group take the first engagement before the second tempo group does anything. Okay, this is gonna be like example. So just before I talked about first and second tempo, now I'm gonna talk about third tempo as an example. And let's just give a bad example of third tempo first, right? So let's say I'm just gonna random around here. They're gonna come fight A main, get a drop off in A short, and then the rest of the team is gonna go split C, right? Let's say, okay, they do enough pressure to get these guys back, and they get that drop off short, right? These guys will probably be like, oh, it's gonna be A, but no, they're just getting a drop off. And they're gonna come, and they're gonna split C, gonna come split C. So what happens here, right? These guys, the first tempo, these guys are the second tempo, and this guy's the third tempo. Why are these guys the first tempo? Because they're gonna be using like the most util. They're gonna be showing the defenders that they're taking garage, right? So it's gonna be like flash, and then Omen's gonna smoke, and then the Jet's maybe gonna dash or like just run in sprinting and stuff. Like they're gonna be making the most noise. The people like that are gonna be the first tempo, and the second tempo are gonna be like the more quieter side, like the darker side where they don't show as much. So they're kind of be like walking up. They're not using much, right? They're just juggling maybe. And then when these guys come out and they take similar like fighting lines, fighting angles, that's when these guys start walking up. And then this guy, let's say maybe they just retake. Okay, so the attackers will now get the bomb down, right? Plant open, because they have the whole site. Okay, cool. So what does a third tempo guy do? These guys will be like, okay, it's C. They're rotating. A bad example of third tempo is activating too early here. Like in his head, maybe he's like, oh, we just got the bomb now. They're gonna be rotating 100%. I'm just gonna walk up now. But let's say this guy is like just happens to be like running away, baiting footsteps, and this guy will be staying like, let's say 3 to 5 seconds more just to see if there's like a lurk, because the attackers did A control and there's a possibility of someone being like dropped off. So let's say that he stays 3 or 5 seconds and he gets caught off. This Omen gets caught and he dies. And now the round is like 20 times different. These guys have to play different compared to if they had a lurk, right? Now they're gonna be like, oh bro, it's 4v5 and they have smokes, we can't play long, can't spam. They have to go for kills now. Or they have to do like something different. But let's say he stays alive and they both rotate and they come over and then he starts like walking up, and then the attackers will be like, these guys will be like, oh, we have a win condition. This guy, third tempo guy, is our win condition. We can play, we're like more versatile now. We can play to delay, we can play to fight, but we can't play to die, right? So let's say they use utils at the choke to like delay them. They fucking drop everything at the choke to delay. These guys will be like stuck here, right? And it just gives this guy time to come over. And once all that has subsided, and let's say they get onto site, they start defusing the bomb. These guys brawl, let's say they trade out, something like this. And then this guy is just giving this guy time the whole time. This guy's baiting hard, right? This guy is baiting hard, and he's telling his team the whole time to delay for him, but not to die. And now they're in a situation where the bomb is like 15 seconds left, and then this guy is the win condition. He's coming around, and then this guy's baiting, and this guy is then activating. Like he's the third tempo. He's activating so late. He's doing it to win them the round pretty much. And then let's say they trade again, and now the bomb is like 7 seconds left, and this guy's 1v1. It's like a 100% win rate for this guy. 100%. So that's how the third tempo should be activating. They should be going after the first and after the second, and you should be going last. That's how, if the third tempo goes like too quickly, it will change how the round will look 100% of the time. But if they go too late, it will also change. So you have to like be wary of like different timing if you're third tempo as a lurk. Alright, so I guess I'll talk about defense as well, like retaking, like first, second, third tempo. This is like really similar to what I just explained on Haven with like the lurk and stuff. Let's say this guy is the third tempo. Or this guy has 100% has to be the third tempo here. But like a bad example, right, would be him coming up. It's like, okay, let's retake, let's crunch, and these guys are coming out, and just as they're coming out, he's peeking this, and this still will 100% be a guy watching this when these guys are coming out, and he's gonna take that 1v1. Is it worth it? It's low risk, like it's high risk, low reward taking this 1v1 here. Let's say he dies. Let's say he kills him. Even if he kills him, it's the other guy. Let's trade him out, and then he's dead. And then what? Now these guys will not have to worry about A main anymore, and all they need to focus is like in front of them. That's all they need to focus now. So even a 1-for-1 is bad there for the third tempo. Good example, right? Is this guy be like, okay, I'm third tempo, I need to go, but I need to not die here. I need to make them worry that they could be flank, but I need to not die here. So they do the retake, right? They come up, do the retake, and this guy's just like chilling, right? This guy's just straight chilling. And this guy will still be watching the flank the whole time, because he'd be like, oh, there could be one flank. So it's technically a 4v4. These guys are out of the equation. It's a 4v4. Let's put them back here. And let's say they trade out, right? They trade out the two guys. They trade 2 for 2. And they come up. And they're tapping the bomb. They start tapping the bomb. This guy will, his attention will be like slowly and slowly dragged towards the objective, which is the bomb. And let's say they start trading out again. And now this guy is like, he can't do anything but to come help. He'd be like, oh, we have to, like, I have to come help now. Like, it's just, and that's when this guy comes around and then just fucking snags them both. Just fucking snags them in the back. Like, understanding, like, the fact that you're the win condition, your third tempo, the win condition, is, like, super important. And, like, when to go. Like, you can't go too early, but you can't go, like, too late either. So you just gotta find that, like, timing, like, in between. So I kind of explained it just before, but I'll, like, explain it more in depth right now of like why like bad tempos like will cost you the round like so much. Let's say right, let's say you're trying to split A here and you're one guy here and you're four guys here. I'm just put random shit here, and you're coming up, and then this guy dies somehow. Let's say he plays a tad too aggro here, trying to catch like a timing or like trying to just walk up, not being aware that he's like the second tempo here, and he just dies. And then what? Now the defenders have all of this. This is all the defenders now. And how scary is that? Compared to if he did not die, the defenders only have this. Right? And that's just one example of how like crucial it is not to get caught off as a second tempo, and you have to be worried that you are the different tempo, and then you have to go a bit slower, and you can't risk yourself dying and giving up that entire area to the defenders when you're splitting the map. But let's say this guy does come up and he takes like this 1v1 50-50 and he wins it. It's still very like high risk low reward, because these guys are gonna come and help him anyways if he just waits a bit, and then he takes like a more favorable fight. Being the second tempo, he'll bait these guys come up, and then he'll come up and they'll take this fight and he'll kill him. So aim is gonna be theirs anyways. But if he takes that fight too early, it's gonna be like the same outcome, 50-50. But if he dies, then it's just like it's kind of fucked for these guys now. So it's like the outcome is gonna be the same if he waits. The outcome is gonna be the same because this guy's gonna die. That's gonna be the outcome. But if depending on how fast or how slow this guy goes, it's gonna determine like the risk, right? So what happened to be like a high percentage play of them crouching and killing this guy is now like a low percentage play, because it's just gonna be him fighting this guy. Like you understand now like why this is like such a big issue for like a lot of people, and I swear I still see it so much in like pro play and ranked. I see it every single day, and it's just like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't understand when they need to be like moving and stuff. And when I talk to a lot of people, they always tell me like, oh, I don't know what to be doing and stuff. And if you like really like think about stuff like this, you will know what to be doing like every second around pretty much, and like what your role are or what your role is when you're moving around the map as like a solo or as like a main group, you should be knowing when to be taking the engagements first compared to your teammates. So yeah, please comment if you want anything else made, and yeah, share and like. Thank you.